I got these bits here, guys, and they work like a champion, man. What we're doing is we're grinding these areas here out, so show you how this works. Guys, I don't know why my camera keeps on cutting off, but I'm getting a little sick and tired of it. Now, I'm going to change over to another bit I bought. This one here is the 9903 Dremel. This is what it looks like. Yeah, these create dust, and you got to really make sure that you get the dust off yourself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shake myself off real good. Then I'm going to go take a shower. But it's like it, you know, all this fine dust. It's like it gets on your arms. And before you leave your shop, make sure you brush yourself off, brush off your head, everything, your clothes, because this stuff here is toxic. To tell you the truth, I think I like the other one better. This is too rough. Without this Dremel tool, you can't do this. It's going to take a lot of sanding to get this smooth, and I mean a lot. now I should be wearing a mask, so I can't bitch about not having a mask. Right, guys? Before, years ago, you couldn't find masks. Now I'm throwing masks away. Alright guys, I'm going to pause y'all. I think the internet was turning my cam off, guys. Hey, this little bit is the shit. Oh man, does it make some fine ass dust. Look at that. Now I gotta sand this too. Now comes the sanding. This is the bad side. This side we're going to put down. The other side's the finished side. One I'm not going to ball cut. I'm not ball cutting these, so tell you, man, this little bit. That guy is something else, boy. Now I have to bevel the sides too, guys. This is just the very beginning, man. All this. You know, this is going to take maybe 24 hours to get this done. Maybe 20 hours. So I'll tune back in with you guys. Okay, guys. There's our finished product. Now, I have yet to bolt it down because I want to take the fender off because I'm not drilling holes in my tire. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a bolt here, or fastener I should say, one there in the same place, and then one right here in the middle. And since that's steel also, we'll weld the nuts on the underside. So I believe all you got to do to take this off is take these fasteners off on each side, and see that bolt down in there, take that out, and then the fender should come out like that. Since you have this shape here, it should slide out this way. So I don't think anything will get scratched. The only thing I have to watch out for is right here. Maybe I'll put a couple pieces of tape here, and then naturally the connect for the lights has to be disconnected. That's down in there somewhere, and then the fender should just come right back. What I'll also do too is I'll clean the underside of the fender. But that's what that's going to look like. You know, doing all that to the front fender, I had to do something to the rear fender. And I did wind up ball cutting in here, because it's a lot easier to ball cut these than to try to finish the edges. You can see I got that to a pretty good mirror finish. We mirror finished the edges. There's a couple flaws in it, like right here. It's not the same shape here. It's a little bit, and you know, there's a couple flaws in it. Like there's a dent right here from when I pounded in the shape, but I believe once I put the bolt in here, it'll suck that down. And what I'll do is I'll heat this up with my heat gun a little bit. That way there, it'll suck the double-sided tape down, and it'll get a nice flat, so it'll be contoured to the fender. Now those tips that I used, guys, those tips, man, those tips do the job. You know, speaking of tips, we left these sharp. These are really sharp. That's how I want it. Have this overhanging a little bit on the rear tire. Alright guys, it's pretty straightforward to take your rear fender off. The two bolts there, there's two on that side. You have to take your electronics cover off on the right hand side because your clip is right there to disconnect the wires for your brake lights and turn signals. And then there's an L bracket that bolts onto the oil pan down there. I just took it off. There's your L bracket sitting right there because I want to put thread locker on both the threads. And I know what some of you are thinking. Put my solo seat on and it's going to look kind of cool like that. But yeah, you know what? If my butt comes off the solo seat, I'm going to go for a goddamn ride. You know, and that's too dangerous for me. I'm not going to do that. And then there's also this little bracket right here that connects to your belt guard. That has to come off also, and it comes out really easy, guys. I mean, it took me like maybe 5 minutes. So we have the fender over there, and what I have to do now is I am going to put 3 holes in it. Like I said before, bam, one here in the middle, one here. That way we'll have that design. And you know what? I don't think I have 3 bolts. I have the screws, but I only have 2 bolts, 2 nuts. Unless if I can find one here, lucky me, I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store. Okay guys, I got the fender. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bash this tip in here just a little bit. Or do you boys think maybe I should leave those alone? Yeah, let me hit them with a hammer. Actually, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cloth over this with a piece of wood over the cloth, and we're going to try to tap these down a little bit. Okay, that was successful. Got them tapped down. That just needs cleaned up a little bit. Maybe we'll wax it one more time. So those bolts just need welded down, and it took the ridge out of here. It took the ridge. There was a ridge in there. Look at that. I just did that with my hand, but just with skin. Just my skin alone. Put a little. We'll take that out with some of my 3M polish. But there was a ridge in here, and that took the ridge right down. There was a ridge in here that took that down. It's near perfect. Here, let me flip that over. I'm pretty sure you guys that never took your fender off your BigDog, you want to see what the underside looks like. Okay, see what we're going to have to do here. We're going to put a bead here, a bead here, a bead here. These are all sanded down. And that's what your underside looks like, guys. There's your wire. These are tabs. Hold your wire down. This is what holds down this part here. There's, I believe this bolt here holds in your turn signals. And your wire, I don't know where the hell the wire goes through. Wire must go through here and come out here. So these bolts here, half of me wants to take these off and repolish them, and half of me doesn't really feel like doing it. But I think what I am going to do is I'm going to clean this with some acetone. Then I'm going to spray paint this gray or maybe black. If I have gray, I'll spray paint it gray. You know, or I have chrome spray, which isn't a very good chrome, but it's like a high luster silver. I just might hit it with some of that. You know, just so it doesn't rust out on me in the future. And there's the hole where that fastener goes in over there. So yeah, that's what the inside of the fender looks like. See now, if you buy a sissy bar for this, I think this guy must have had a sissy bar in here before, because there's that looks like a socket or where the bolt was going through. So he must have had whoever owned this before me had a sissy bar on this. Your sissy bar goes in here, and then the bolts go in that end. That's how your sissy bar connects, which I never had an interest. You know, I have no interest in having a sissy bar in these. I don't really like the sissy bar look. So, okay, we'll get this welded up and we'll get it back on. Okay, guys, I got her all done, all assembled. There you have it, man. So we got our set of blades rocking in front up here. And the way it started was I had the nose piece was leather. I had a leather mud flap I didn't like the leather being up there anymore, so I should have heated it up. Yeah, I cut myself. I cut myself on the tip of that, putting the fender back on. That's how sharp it is. So I took the leather off. I should have heated it up, but I didn't because I was in a rush as usual, and I took the paint off with it, so I couldn't match the paint. The paint is Silver Bullet DT175. I can't find it. I literally looked for 1 week on the internet, can't find it. So I made that because I don't like buying what someone else has, you know. And I had aluminum left, so I figured, well, I'll make the Reaper blades. I like the way they turned out. And I figured, well, I might as well replace the mud flap too. And I like how that turned out. Then I figured to myself, well, let me do something with the gas cap. So I changed the gas cap. And then I thought to myself, well, the rear fender is lonely. So I might as well make something for the rear fender. So all the aluminum extras on there, she's all matched up. You know, and now we're waiting for decent weather, guys. That's all we need now, some decent weather. So we got that rear rocking. I kind of like that. You know, I had a few designs, and the other designs, I was ready to put them on, and I thought of that one. Actually, I was daydreaming one day, and I thought that up. And yeah, it was a little difficult to make. Then, now the hardest thing to make, believe it or not, was that aluminum mud flap up there. That was the hardest one to make. Second hardest is that gas cap. And that nose piece is the third hardest. That was hard. I mean, they're all hard. They're all hard to make. They're not easy to make. Because, you know, especially I don't have a English wheel. I don't have a plenishing hammer. This is all done by hand with a torch, a couple pieces of wood, and a small hammer. You know, and it's all done by hand, guys. And I think I did a pretty damn good job curving these pieces. To the shape of the fender. Now, if I had a planishing hammer, that'd be perfect, where I could sell them. But, you know, I'm not in that business, so. You know, and then I was going to cut like a design out up here. I was going to cut a design out of here, and I figured to myself, you know what? That's going to take the structural integrity out of the fender. Because there's a lot of weight and a lot of vibration on these motorcycles. So I left the rear fender alone other than that piece back there. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe, ring my bell, and give me a thumbs up.